वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा शील प्रभुपदा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमती स्वयं शेष भक्त वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन संस्थापकाचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक अष्टोत्तर सदस्य श्रीमती स्वयं शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत दादर शिव साधु गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोविंद श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। गंगामय की यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री हरनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। इस्कॉन पद्मन गुरुवंद की जय। समावेद भक्तवंद की जय। और प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled bodies. All glories to the assembled bodies. All glories to the assembled bodies. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gaurang. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Ashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtihi. Hare Krishna. Welcome on to the Friday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are starting from a new chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, text 1, 2, 3. That entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaj Prithu. Text number 1. Maitreya Uvacha Bhagavan api Vaikuntaha Sakam Magavata Vibhuhu Yajnairyajnapatistushto Yajnapuktam Abhashata. Translation Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, being very much satisfied by the performance of 99 horse sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, appeared on the scene. Accompanying him was King Indra. Lord Vishnu then began to speak. There's no purport. Text number 2. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yeshate Karshit Bhangam Hayameda Shatasya Kshama Atmanam Amushyakshantum Arhasi. Translation Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, My dear King Prithu, Indra, the King of Heaven, has disturbed your execution of 100 sacrifices. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. Therefore, excuse him. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this word, the word Atmanam is very significant. It's a custom among yogis and jnanis to address one another or even an ordinary man as oneself. For a transcendentalist, never accepts a living being to be the body. Since the individual self is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self and the super self are qualitatively non-different. As the next verse will explain, the body is only a superficial covering, and consequently, an advanced transcendentalist will not make a distinction between oneself and another. Text number 3. Sudiyah sadavo loke naradevat narottamaha nabhit ruhyanti bhutebhyo yarhinatma kalevaram. Translation Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O king, one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is considered best among human beings. An advanced human being is never malicious to others. Those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In daily life, we find that a madman commits murder. He is excused even by a high court judge. The idea is that a living entity is always pure because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he falls into the clutches of material energy, he becomes a victim of the three modes of material nature. Indeed, whatever he does under the influence of material nature. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 5.14, न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of this body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Actually, the living entity or soul does not do anything. Everything is done under the influence of the modes of material nature. When a man is deceased, the symptoms of the disease become a source of all kinds of pain. Those who are advanced in transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness are never envious neither of the soul nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. Advanced transcendentalists are called Sudhiyaha. Sudhi means intelligence, means intelligence. Sudhi means highly advanced, and Sudhi means devotee. One who is both devoted and highly advanced in intelligence does not take action against the soul or the body. If there is any discrepancy, he forgives. It is said that forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurtamritam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Dadati Swapadadikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Vidapatakamelam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Thakana Raghunathanvitam Tamsajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavando Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhevam Davneshwari Vishapanushte Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vanchakalpatarupyasya Kvasnupe Vishapatitanam Pavnepe Vaishnavedvan Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Moham Karoti Vachalam Punkam Lange Degan Metkapada Muhammad Deshi Gurum Dentan Paramanda Madam Shri Chaitanya Mishra. Hare Krishna. So we start with a new chapter from today. It's entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena. So just to connect back to the previous classes, Prithu Maharaj was performing the 100th sacrifice when Indra, the king of heaven, tried to steal the sacrificial horse for the second time. And when Prithu Maharaj got angry and was trying to kill Indra, Lord Brahma intervened. He said that don't kill him. And by your performing the sacrifice, he is going to indulge in bringing substandard religious systems. And one of the examples I gave was Jainism was a substandard practice of sub-religion of the practices of Lord Rishabdev. So we see that today there are so many false religions calling themselves as religion. Somebody says work is worship. Somebody says there is religion is the most is the only religion, so forth. So Prithu Maharaj stopped the sacrifice. And when he stopped the sacrifice, Lord Vishnu was pleased. And now Lord Vishnu comes along with Indra. And we see in text number 1, Maitreya Rishi is telling Vidura, my dear Vidura, being very much satisfied by the performance of 99 horse sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, appeared on the scene. Accompanying him was King Indra. Then Lord Vishnu starts to speak. So some important points on this sloka. It is said that uh, the purpose of sacrifice is to please Vishnu. So ultimately, by performing sacrifice, if Vishnu is not pleased, that sacrifice has no meaning. So in this particular thing, it is very important that obeying an authority is very important in spiritual life, of course, in material life also. But then there are things like the authority should be qualified enough on the subject matter. For example, if you go to a maths teacher and ask him, say, uh, science subject, something like about geography, he may not be able to answer it. So one must be qualified in that subject. Similarly, spiritual science is something that one should uh, accept an authority and obey by the authority. So Pitu Maharaj, though he was an incarnation of Godhead, empowered Shakti Avasya Avtara, he appeared for performing this pastime. And if one does not obey the authority, then there are repercussions. But here we see that Pitu Maharaj accepted the advice of Lord Brahma and he stopped the sacrifice. So when Pitu Maharaj stopped the sacrifice, uh, Lord Vishnu was very pleased and he appeared with Indra. And we see that in the next sloka, Lord starts speaking to uh, Prithu Maharaj. Now, as far as authority is concerned, the authority is given by the Lord himself. It is not challengeable and it is not questionable also, because the Vedas are emanations from the Lord himself. And sometimes we might have contradictions in the Vedas also. That is why it is said that one must understand this from proper authority. Example is given about conch shell and cow dung, which are the bone and stool of a fish. But they are recommended in the Vedas as pure. But the conch, the stool of a living being, of other living species are not accepted, because their stool is a byproduct which is a waste. But in the case of a cow, uh, the stool is considered to be very pure. Similarly, the conch shell of is a bone of a fish, but then that is recommended by in the Vedas that it can be utilized in even the service of the Lord. So the point is that one has to follow the Vedic injunctions, but they cannot make their own interpretations of the Vedic injunctions. Uh, Many misconceptions, examples are there, many misconceptions about Lord Buddha also, in the sense that Lord Buddha denied the authority of the Vedas, but, and he established his own religion. But there was a reason for that, because before Lord Buddha's appearance, Lord Shiva preached, and there were a mass this thing of killing of animals in the sacrifice, in the name of animal sacrifice. So Lord Buddha appeared for a particular purpose to deny the Vedas, and indirectly it looked like like he was rejecting the injunctions of the Vedas. But the point is that he came with a different purpose to negate what Lord Shiva preached. So this was an arrangement of the Lord himself. So we cannot uh, understand the Vedas unless and until there is someone to guide us through. That's why we always take guidance from Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Now, there are many who defy the Vedas or scriptures, and some examples are given in the first canto, where it is said that Ravana was one of them. He wanted to send ordinary people to the planet of Indra, or the king of heaven, by material means, without considering the qualifications. Every planet has got living entities, and every planet has got necessary qualifications for the living entities. So one cannot build a staircase from here to heaven like what Ravana wanted. And similarly, he wanted to perform other acts which are against the establishment of the religious principles. On the contrary, he challenge Lord Rama, who is the authority and who was the personality of God himself, and he kidnapped Sita. We come to second sloka. Lord Vishnu said, "My dear King Prithu, Indra, the king of heaven, has disturbed your execution of 100 sacrifices. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. Therefore, excuse him." So, Indra came with Lord Vishnu, asking for forgiveness for what he has done. So forgiveness is a very, very vital aspect in spiritual life. Of course, in material life also it works, because there are many, many benefits of forgiving a person. So in this verse, there is a concept point mentioned that all the living entities, the soul is different from the body. There is a soul, and the body is different. And this is also taught in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna to Arjuna, that we are not this body, but we are a spirit soul. And the individual soul is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. But then qualitatively, they are one and the same, but quantitatively, they are different, because the Lord is super soul, uh, uh, and he is called Vibhu, and we are small part and parcel, and that size is also given in Bhagavad Gita, 1 by 10,000 part of a tip of a hair, which is not imaginable by us. So that is how small their tiny soul is. But in terms of quality, they both are the same. The Lord has got qualities, so being a part and parcel, the individual soul also has got qualities in a minute quantity, of course, not as much as the Lord. Then in the third sloka, we will go to the point where there is a slightly big purport. So in the third verse, uh, Lord Vishnu says that one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is considered best among the human beings. We understand what is a welfare activity. Generally, a welfare activity is considered something like a charity, giving something in donation to for hospitals, schools, and all those things. Of course, there are benefits of these welfare activities, but they are not the best. By performing welfare activities, material welfare activities, one may get some punya or pious result in the next birth. They may take birth as in a high, very family, opulent family, or become a king or so forth. But then the results of those pious activities also diminish once the result is over. So, but the most important, greatest welfare activity is to give transcendental knowledge to the deceased. So here there is a mention that Indra is a deceased person, because it is, though he may be a king of heaven, he is always after his position, because he is envious of anyone. Indra has got that position of the king of heaven because he has performed 100 Ashwamedha yajnas. So he is always saying, is there anybody else who is performing the 100th sacrifice by which the other person might take my position? So for to see that nobody else takes that position, Indra goes to any extent. After all, this is a material world. And just as there is competition in our planet or in our earth, there is competition in the heavenly planets also, and there are competitions in the stars and so forth. So this is all described in detail in the Shastras. So, but an advanced person who knows this subject matter, that we are not this body, but we are a spirit soul, does not carry enviousness to others. So here, Lord Vishnu is explaining that the activities that are performed by any living entity is performed not by the soul, but by the body, and that body is situated in the three modes of material nature. So one who can understand this is the ideal person, or who is an intelligent person. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of sometimes we see that people commit murder. But then what happens is that they are given sometimes 30 years, 40 years imprisonment. And once he is refined in the prison, then he is freed. So this way, uh, uh, the point is that a madman, like Indra is compared to a madman, because after all, anyone who runs after material body or material opulence is considered a madman, because nothing is permanent in this material world. If the position of Indra is not permanent, how can we consider material opulence as permanent? In the heavenly planets, there is a lot of opulence. People live for a very long life, and there is a lot of the women are beautiful, and there's a lot of attraction, and they don't have old age like us. They live a very long life, and the time of death, they die, give their body. That's all. So anyone who runs after this type of a temporary life in the heavenly planets is considered a madman. So the Lord is explaining that one who comes under this illusory, temporary opulence is like a madman. So Srila Prabhupada gives a quote from Bhagavad Gita which says, the embodied spirit, master of the world, he does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. The point is that uh, uh, Lord Vishnu is trying to explain that we are not this body, but we are a spirit soul. The spirit soul does not create activities, nor does he induce other people to act, and nor does he create the results of the fruits of the action. And all this is done by the three modes of material nature. So the soul does not indulge in activities, but the soul has got, when it is covered by material body, the activities are performed by the material body, which is in the three modes of material nature. A soul that is there in a body which is in the mode of goodness will perform activities that are good. One in the mode of passion will always be running after, I want this, I want that, and so forth. And here the example is given about Indra. And one who is in the mode of ignorance will be intoxicated and sleepy and so forth. So Indra is in the mode of passion because he is wanting to retain that position or somehow or the other. So Lord Vishnu is explaining that Indra is like a madman, but you are a very advanced and intelligent person. So why do you want to kill him? So Lord is giving his argument that you are a very intelligent person and you should not take against any action against him, because after all, Indra is in the mode of passion, and there can be discrepancies anytime in various types of activities. So better that you forgive him. And this is an important point in these 2 3 slokas. Uh, we will see the importance of forgiveness in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishma Deva gives instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthir. He says self-realization is distinguished from the life of the lower animals engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. That means he says that there is a difference between human life and animal life, and he clearly defines the qualifications that are required in the human life. He says uh, there are 9 qualifications that are required for one to be even accepted as a human life. First one, he says, is not to become angry. Second, he says not to lie. Third, he says to equally distribute wealth. Fourth, he says to forgive. Fifth, he says to beget children only by one's legitimate wife. Sixth, he says to be pure in mind and hygienic in body. Seventh, he says not to be inimical towards anyone. Eighth is to be simple. And ninth is to support servants or subordinates. So all are very, very, very valuable points. And one of that is to forgive. So one cannot be called a civilized person unless and until one who has got these qualities, preliminary qualities. If one does not have these, they are as good as animal life. And one example is that in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, we all heard this pastime of Jagaya and Madai. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakura would go door to door and ask them to chant the holy name of the Lord. So when they went once, Jagaya and Madai started running, chasing them. They ran after and took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "No, still you go and preach." So second time when they went, both Jagaya and Madai were drunk, and when they asked uh, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagaya and Madai to chant, Madai was drunk and he got angry, and he had a clay pot of wine, empty clay pot of wine, and he took a piece of that and hit Nityananda Prabhu on his head, and Nityananda Prabhu started bleeding. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got very, very angry at that time, and he's being the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead. He took his Sudarshan Chakra and he wanted to kill Nityananda Prabhu. He wanted to kill Madai. Uh, uh, so Nityananda Prabhu at that time intervened and said that in this your incarnation, you have not come to kill anybody, rather convert them to devotees of the Lord. So um, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave both Jagai and Madai, and then they were converted to devotees, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You go to the bank of the Ganges and clean them up for all the offenses that you have done and start chanting the Mahamantra," and that's how they were converted. So forgive, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgave this Jagai and Madai. In the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam itself, there is a mention in the seventh chapter where we'll see that there was a big fight between the followers of Lord Shiva and the followers of Lord Brahma. And at that time, Bhrigu Muni, who is the king of the sages, uh, of course, Bhrigu Muni was uh, uh, conscious of what was happening. So Bhrigu Muni says, "My dear Lord, all living entities beginning from the highest, namely Lord Brahma, down to the ordinary ant, are under the influence of insurmountable spell of the illusory energy. And this they are ignorant of their constitutional position. Everybody believes in the concept of the body and are thus submerged in the darkness of illusion. They are actually unable to understand how you live in every entity as a super soul, nor can they understand your absolute position. But you are the eternal friend and protector of all surrendered souls. Therefore, be kind enough towards us and forgive all our offenses." So this is what even Bhrigu Muni exhibited, and he asked forgiveness because because the followers of Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they were all fighting, and he was also representing. So here, Bhrigu Muni is asking the Lord to forgive them. So the point is that in this pastime also, both the parties were fighting uh, basically because uh, the concept was on the bodily platform. So Bhrigu Muni himself considered that he's one of the offenders also, that he's ignorant, and the conditioned souls have no other no other choice but to accept the situation where they are in, that is the three modes of material nature. Then he thought that the only remedy is to surrender to Vishnu and always pray to be excused. So then finally they were excused and the matter was settled. So the point is that there are so many examples in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We all know the pastime where uh, Indra actually sent thunderstorms and thunderclouds And then finally he realized that the small boy was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. And finally he comes to the Lord. When he realized that it was the Lord, that then he thought that he should better forgive it. Uh, he came with a cow and a calf, and it was the advice given by Lord Brahma. So he says that engrossed in pride over my ruling power, ignorant of your majesty, I offended you, O Lord. May you forgive me. My intelligence was bewildered, but let my consciousness never again be so impure. So the point is that Indra committed the offense, but at some time he became repentant also. It is said that in the Shastras that repentance is a very big vital factor in spiritual life. Many of us may commit sins, offenses, and so forth, but at least if we feel repentant, then the Lord becomes pleased. And the next stage comes to seeking forgiveness. Many times we see that people may not be even repentant, and they may continue to commit the offenses or sinful activities, but then that is a big impediment in their spiritual life, and that is why they may not progress. So uh, the Lord also forgave um, Indra. Uh, there is also a pastime which you all may be knowing. I will not dwell into that a little. Bhrigu Muni again was a part of this pastime. I'll give it in a nutshell. He wanted to show to everybody to understand who is the Supreme Lord. So first he went to Brahma by uh, 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 when he went to he committed an offense at Lord Brahma on mental platform. He went to see him without offering any respect. So Brahma got very angry, and somehow he suppressed his anger because Bhrigu Muni was his son. Then Bhrigu Muni went to Lord Shiva, who was like his elder brother, who got up from his seat to embrace Bhrigu Muni. But Bhrigu Muni rejected the embrace, calling Shiva a low person. So Shiva was just about to kill Bhrigu Muni, but goddess Parvati intervened into that, and she pacified her husband, and that's why Lord Shiva was pacified. Then Bhrigu Muni went to Vaikunta to test Lord Narayana. There, when she went, Lord was lying on the bed with the goddess of fortune, and with his head on the lap of the goddess of fortune. Bhrigu Muni straight away went and kicked the Lord's chest. But in this case, instead of Lord becoming angry, both the Lord and his consort, they stood up and they offered respects to Bhrigu Muni. And the Lord said, welcome, please sit down and rest for a while. Kindly forgive us, dear master, for not noticing your arrival. So when Bhrigu Muni went back to the assembly of sages and told them this what happened, they all considered that Lord Vishnu is certainly the supreme. He did not get angry on Bhrigu Muni, but rather the Lord said, please forgive us. Maybe your feet might have got hurt in the process of coming and hitting me. So that is how even the Lord forgave Bhrigu Muni. In the nectar of devotion, there are two examples that are given, and the definition is given. What is forgiving? The definition is a person who can tolerate all kinds of offenses from the opposite party is known to be forgiving. So the point is that one has to be very tolerant, irrespective of whatever the circumstances may be, and one should be in a position to forgive. Like I mentioned, forgiveness is a very vital part in one's spiritual life. So Lord Krishna's forgiving quality is described in the pastimes of Shishupala. Shishupala was a king and of a kingdom, and then though he happened to be the cousin of Lord Krishna, he was always envious of him. So whenever they would meet, Shishupala would try to insult Krishna and call him by all ill names as much as possible. So in the arena of Rajasuya Yajna, Maharaj Yudhishthira called Lord Krishna. So Shishupal was also there, and Krishna did not care. And the Shishupal started giving all ill names to Krishna. Lord Krishna did not bother about it. He just remained silent. But some of them who were present in the arena, they wanted Shishupal to be killed. So Krishna restricted them. So the point is that Krishna was so forgiving. And finally, of course, you all know that when he was about to blaspheme for the 100th time, he was killed by the Lord Sudarshan Chakra. The point is that Krishna was also very, very tolerant for a long time. In fact, the other sons of the Pandavas, they also got very, very angry and they wanted to kill. One example of from Ramayana is that where there is a pastime uh, 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 and Yamuna Charya, in his glorification of Lord Rama, he glorifies how Lord Rama was very, very uh, forgiving. So one time it is said that Indra, the king of heaven, he assumed the form of a crow and attacks Sita Devi by striking on her breast. Now, this was like an insult to an universal mother, Sita Devi. And Lord Rama was immediately prepared to kill the crow. But because later on the crow bowed down in front of the Lord excused all his offenses. So Yamunacharya in his prayers to Lord Rama, he says, "My dear Lord Rama, you are so merciful to have excused a crow's clawing on the nipples of Janaki simply because of his bowing down before you." So Indra took this form as a crow and did this offense. Immediately he begged forgiveness from Lord Rama, and Lord Rama excused this offense. So Yamunacharya is glorifying uh, uh, Lord Rama, and in the purport in the pastime. Uh, then Nectar of Devotion compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami, it is explained that the forgiving power of Lord Krishna is even greater than that of Lord Rama, because Shishupal was always in the habit of insulting Krishna, not in one lifetime but 3 lifetimes. So still Krishna was so kind that he gave Shishupala the salvation of merging into his existence. That means though by killing Shishupala, still the Lord was merciful to him by giving him a place in the Brahma Jyoti, which is the Brahman glowing effulgence covering the body of the Lord. So Krishna was very kind to Shishupala, though he killed him, but they are given place in Brahma Jyoti, which is not a very attractive thing. So even those who are envious of Krishna, like Shishupala, are given a liberation from this material world. So this is how forgiving is very, very important in one's life. And here we see in this loka that uh, Vishnu is explaining to Prithu Maharaj that whatever activities that Prithu Maharaj did was Indra did was within the 3 modes of material nature. So after all, these activities were conducted by the body, and one should not be inimical to either the soul does not perform activities, so why do you want to kill him? So this way Vishnu is trying to tell Prithu Maharaj that you are a very, very intelligent person and you understand what is a body and what is a soul, and one who is really intelligent does not try to kill either the material body or the soul. Soul is not destructible, and the soul does not perform activities also, nor is it responsible for the results of the activities. So everything is temporary in this material world, and you forgive Indra because after all the activities were performed by him, the 3 modes of material nature. And Sri Prabhupada concludes the purport that forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. So if one needs to progress in spiritual path, one may come across many challenges, right, with so many examples that we have seen. But ultimately, one has to be forgiving, and when one forgives, the Lord becomes very, very pleased. So with this, I conclude the class for the day. Any questions, any comments? I can take it for the next 1 or 2 minutes. There are no questions, comments. I'll take the class as closed. Thank you all very much. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.